Hi, I'm Emma from Double Stitch Creations. This is tutorial part 2 of our small little bag, which makes cute little gifts. So we are working in tutorial part 1, which I'll put a link in the description below. We worked on the base, and today we are working on the body of our bag. And you'll need, I'm using rainbow colour yarn as my contrast, my main colour. So you'll need a contrast colour and a main colour, and I'm going to call the contrast colour B, and the main colour, which for me is the rainbow, will be colour A, just so you know what I'm referring to. So we're starting with colour B, which is our contrast colour. You'll need your 6mm hook, if you have it on hand, a stitch marker or just a scrap piece of yarn, tapestry needle, and scissors. And I am working with 8-ply wool, but you can use cotton or string, and I'm doubling the strands here, so I'm using 2 strands of the 8-ply wool. So we're now on to, in the pattern will be round 4, and we are working to the back loop only, so each stitch has a front loop and a back loop, and for this round we're just going to put our hook and work our stitches into each of the back loops only of this stitching. So we're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around for the 40 stitches, into the back loop only. So I'm going into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. So that's your first single crochet, and you can put your stitch marker back in here at the beginning stitch, going into the next stitch, into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both, to the next stitch along, into the back loop, yarn over, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. So you're just going all the way around every stitch, just 1 single crochet, but I'm working into the back loop. And what you'll find is you get this nice little edge stitching, and then your bag will start to, so we want it to come up on the sides. And it's going all the way around. So just 1 single crochet to every stitch around, but just make sure you're working into the back loop. Okay, so once you've done that, we're up to round 6, and it's just back to normal, so going under both loops. We're just going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So I'm just back doing my usual normal single crochet. You just want to do one single crochet into the next 40 stitches. So put your stitch marker back in. So it's just doing the same. So just one single crochet into every stitch around. So I'll leave you to do that because it's probably a little bit boring just watching me crochet. So I will leave you to do one single crochet into every stitch, and then I will get back to you where we will add in our color A. So just doing one single crochet all the way around back to your stitch marker, and I'll see you at the end of round 6. Okay, just finished round 6. We're now going to add in a color A. So you want to once more have 2 strands of 8-ply contrasting colour, any colour of choice. I'm going to go with this pretty rainbow. Okay. So just remove your stitch marker. We're now on round 7, and you're just going to chain. So you're going to, with the contrast colour, just like we're just going to pull that through the loop that is on your hook. So you've changed now to contrast. Leave a bit of a tail. We'll tie that in later. I'm going to skip 2 stitches here, and then we're going to do a double crochet, 2 double crochets into the 3rd stitch. Okay, so yarn over first to do a double crochet going into that 3rd stitch along, yarn over, pull up a loop so you have 3 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through the last 2. And I'll explain in a minute why I've skipped 3 stitches, but we'll just continue on with this for a minute. So I want to put another double crochet into the same stitch. So yarn over first, so you've got 2 loops in your hook, going into that stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, pull through the last 2. And then we're going to skip a stitch, then do 2 double crochets into the next stitch after that. Then skip a stitch, then do 2 double crochets into the next stitch along. So we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So you're just doing skipping a stitch, then doing 2 double crochets, and skipping a stitch, then doing 2 double crochets. And skipping, and then doing 2 double crochets. And just doing that all the way around. You see it's starting to take shape. Oh, I like this rainbow. Don't know what colour to make for myself. I definitely like a big one. I'm wondering if I should use string. I might. Who doesn't love handbags? I love handbags. bags in general. It doesn't have to be. Okay. You still want to have 40 stitches, even though we're skipping a stitch, right? Just making a nice little pattern. Okay, now I'm up to the end. Now, the reason I skipped the very first stitch was to make a nice join. So sometimes when you're changing colors and doing rounds, you don't always get such a nice seam. And so, but by doing it this way, usually you get just a little bit nicer seam in your bag. So what we want to do is, that's our very last stitch, so I'm not crocheting into that. This is our chain where we attached the color. So I'm just gonna go, we're going to do 2 double crochets over that chain and into the very first stitch that we skipped at the beginning. Remember how we skipped 3 instead of just skipping the 1 stitch that we did all along? So that very first stitch that we skipped over, we now want to do our 2 double crochets. So yarn over, I'm just going over that, you are not really going to notice. Going into that first stitch of the round, so the very beginning stitch. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and now I'm going to do another double crochet. And the idea, into the same stitch, it should hopefully start to give us eventually a nice seam. So now we're going to leave it attached, we're going to drop colour A and pick up colour B. Going to yarn over and pull it back through the loop in our hook. We're going to skip the first stitch again, so skipping that first stitch of the round. You can put, first of all, actually before we go on, let's count, make sure we've got 40. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Okay, so we've got 40. So now we change colour. I'm skipping this first stitch again, and this time I'm going into the back loop of the round, and I'm just going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around in the back loop. So I'm just doing back to single crochets now, and this time we're doing it into every stitch except that first one we skipped for the time being, and we will do that at the end just to make a nice seam on our bag. So I'm going into the back loop, and I'm just putting 1 single crochet into every stitch. So just in the back loop only, and you can do this any way you want really, but I just did this because I like the little ridge that it makes on the bag. So this is round 8, I think we're up to. So essentially, and I'll show you how round 9 as well, you're going to repeat rounds 7 to round 9, and we're going to do that. You're going to do, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you're going to do the double crochets 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm kind of still writing the pattern as I'm going, really. Anyway, I'll show you once we get to the end. Let's just keep going. 1 single crochet to every stitch around. Okay, and then once you get to the end, we're going to do a similar thing where we actually do our first stitch. So technically the first stitch you're kind of doing last, just to make a nice seam in our bag. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so once I'm back here, so we skipped the first stitch, so now I'm going to do it, right? And don't forget to do it into the back loop. So I'm going into the, here's my first stitch right here, and now I'm going to put a single crochet in there. So you just kind of crocheting over this chain. So I'm just doing my normal single crochet. Alright, now we're going to chain 1, then we're going to skip the first stitch. Well, before we do that, let's always make sure we've got 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Right. So chain 1. Now I'm skipping that first stitch again, and I'll do that at the end. And then we're just going into the next stitch, and this time I'm just doing a single crochet per normal. I'm going to both, putting my hook under both loops. And you're just going to do 1 single crochet again all the way around. So can you see our bag pattern starting to take shape? I'm loving the rainbow. So you want to repeat rows 7 to 9 3 more times. So the next row after this will be changing back to color A to do our double crochets. So it's doing 1 row of double crochets and then 2 rows of single crochets using the opposite colour. And just repeat the video if you need to, because don't forget we've skipped stitches and we're working into the back loop sometimes we're not. But essentially it's the same, you're doing the same 3 rows another 3 times. Okay, so once you get back, just remember that you're skipping the first stitch and then you're going to do it at the end of the round so that you can create a nice little seam on your bag. So once you get back to the end, you can always put your stitch marker in if you get lost. You're going over that, there's the chain, and this is our first stitch down here. So I'm going to just put a single crochet, and this time I'm going into both loops, just a normal single crochet. Now you change colour to colour A. We'll get you started. So just yarn over, so you're doing a chain stitch. Remember, we're skipping 3 stitches on the double. I'm going to yarn over first, going into the 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into the same stitch, and then we're skipping a stitch, doing another 2, and do that all the way around. So you're just repeating these 3 rows another 3 times, and then I will get back to you at the end of that. So just keep going with your double crochets on this round, and I will get back to you once you've done the body of the bag. Alright, I'll see you soon. Just finish repeating rounds 7 to 9 3 more times, so we're now up to round 18. So we just completed, that's the completion of the body of our bag. So just cut from here, we'll just cut both your colour A and colour B, leaving a tail to weave in. And just grab the end of your colour B colour and pull it all the way through that loop on your hook and pull it tight. Now grab your tapestry needle and you can turn your bag inside out. I may as well weave in these ends here. You might notice that you've got like where because I didn't bother cutting it off per row, otherwise we'd have a lot of ends to sew in. You might notice a line where we've just from changing colour. You can go over it with the ends of your tail, but I don't really, it's going to be on the inside of your bag and you're not going to notice it. So you just grab the end, pull it tight, and just, I will go over that white one, just weaving it in and out of your bag. Just tucking it away. Just doing this a few times in and out, back and forth, making sure you're on the inside of your bag. And now you can trim it. And then with these, I might, well actually, I might, give it a nicer finishing, just undo where I pulled it through and just pull pull that loop, pull the end all the way through like that. Now, might be easier to turn it back the right way, just so that we do this correctly. So what you want to do is skip a stitch and go to the back, and then without skip that stitch that we skipped, just come up through the front loop just to give it a nicer finish. To make it even. Then I'm just going to weave it here close to this. And I'm going to knot these two ends together. And just continue weaving these in and out until you're happy that it's nice and secure, and trim it. And do one more, do this rainbow one. Just weaving it in and out in the rainbow parts of the bag on the inside. And trim it. And so that finishes off the body, and then in tutorial part 3 we will work on the handle for our cute little bag. Alright, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.